Hi guys, I'm Becca Otis from Five Lines Pottery, and I'm located in Van.
And I'm Ryan Durbin from RD Ceramics, located in Highland Heights, Kentucky.
And welcome to Wheel Talk.
All right. Hello. We're live.
Hello.
We're
Hello,
back at it.
Ryan.
Hello.
Ryan.
Happy Thursday.
Happiest of Thursday to you.
Yep.
Would you like to hear what I got from the ice cream place today? I know you want to.
Oh, of course. I'm thinking ice cream truck, but it's not. You're not probably talking about an ice cream truck, right? With the
No, it used to be an old Dairy Queen. So think
oh, and they have an ice cream store in there now.
it's an ice cream. It's called the old ice cream shop. It's
Oh,
basically a Dairy Queen, but it's independently owned, even though all Dairy Queens are independently owned anyway. And
they're like screw that franchise
it's
fee.
yeah, fuck them. And the lady that owns it, she bought it. She used to work at the Dairy Queen when she was a kid, and then she bought it,
Nice.
which is pretty cool. Do you want to guess the type of blizzard I got? You get two additives into it.
Nerds.
No, I didn't do nerds today, so I'll give you that. And um, not Heath. Okay. But you should know one of them because that's my other go-to.
Oreo.
No.
Oh my
I'm
gosh. I'm not gonna get this.
I'm depressed at how much you don't know me. Um, cookie dough, obviously.
Cookie dough. Okay.
Cookie dough and marshmallow fluff. Oh
Okay. I
my
would have
fucking God.
never guessed marshmallow fluff.
You would have never, I know you would have never guessed marshmallow fluff. I thought you were going to get cookie dough because usually I get cookie dough Heath, half cookie dough, half Heath at Dairy Queen. But today I got cookie dough and marshmallow fluff, and it was fantastical.
Man, I don't know the last time I've been to Dairy Queen. It's probably been a couple of years, probably.
Me and your mom go there pretty much every time I visit.
Oh, really?
And
How close is the Dairy
yeah,
Queen to them? I don't.
it's not close. It's like you remember, like if you turn left out of the by the Freddy or not the Freddy's, the Kroger. No, turn right instead of going to the highway, you turn right and
Oh,
then
you have to
you
go all the way down to the Pee Wee Valley. Okay, yeah.
yeah, over the train tracks, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
That's not
um
that far, but it's definitely out of the way, I guess, because normally we're never going that direction.
right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So,
Okay.
anyway, yep. But this ice cream place is literally on my way home. It's great.
Okay. What kind of ice cream is with cookie dough and marshmallow fluff? Was it vanilla ice cream?
Yeah, it's
I don't.
vanilla.
Okay. Was it
I
like
was like,
very stuck together and stuff? Like the marshmallow fluff seems like it wouldn't mesh well with ice cream.
it definitely was creamier. I know. I was like, are those regular? I was kind of hoping they were like little marshmallows. How fun would that be to have tiny little marshmallows? Um, and I was like, is it marshmallow fluff or marshmallow? She's like, it's fluff. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna be good or not. And I tried it and it was so fucking good.
Because it doesn't, it
It was
seems like
great.
marshmallow fluff would have a limit of like how cold or warm it should be. And if it's too cold, it seems
Yeah.
like it would be stiff. And if it's too warm, it's like flowing, like
Yeah, I don't know the
more
science
than.
behind it, but I can tell you that it is a go. It is a go. So that's nice. I think that marshmallow fluff is like pure corn syrup. So,
I think I've only had that like once or twice before. A friend of mine always had peanut butter and marshmallow fluff sandwiches for lunch when we were in
of,
grade school.
of
But
yeah, nutter is it a nutter butter or a fluffer nutter sandwich? That's what it is.
yeah, I
I
never
could
really
not.
had any, but
Well, I made Amish peanut butter for my parents' neighbors at Christmas time, and Amish peanut butter is half marshmallow fluff.
Oh.
If there was any question of like I don't know, Amish meals are like the most unhealthy meals I've ever experienced in life. Um,
Yeah, those Amish meals that we have at Michigan Pottery Tour, pretty hearty meals.
yeah, and it's so funny because like they always send Amish peanut butter, and I'm like, can we have some butter? Just like straight butter? Can we just have regular butter? Like some
Hmm.
Amish butter? But no, nope.
They're like, there's plenty of butter in everything you're eating. Why do you need it
Yeah,
to top something else?
yeah, like you need
Just dip your roll in some of your other plate
in the
items.
gravy,
Yeah.
in the gravy noodles. The yeah, exactly. So anyway, um, yeah, it was delicious.
Would you
Anyway,
get it again?
what?
Would you get it again?
100%. I will probably get it the next time. It was so good.
Okay.
And then I walked across the street to go to Preston's because one of my friends was filling up a wood kiln, and and then Preston's wife saw my order about candy, and she got me cotton candy. She got me
Hmm.
cotton candy at the Dollar Tree or the Dollar General or whatever. It was like leftover Easter. It was delicious. I am sugared out for the evening. Um,
Yeah, I've been having some issues. I've been grabbing, I got a bunch of candy for Easter and stuff too, and I've been grabbing these bags of, just because there's such an excess that I just don't feel any reservation of making it last. I'm just like, keep going back to it, and I need to like put it
right, you're like a
upstairs.
candy fiend. Like
Yeah. No
your
chill
candy
on the
situation.
candy.
Oh no, Ryan's candy situation is insane. And like Deech, I blame you for this because of how many candy bowls you have in your house. But um, I have
See,
never seen a human being other than Val's husband eat as much candy as you. Val's husband will go to the dollar store and get candy every day. I think he stopped because like it was, it was health issues or something, but woof, rough, man. You guys, all you skinny people just eat so much goddamn candy. You're
I
gonna
don't,
die.
I'm usually pretty good about controlling how much I eat, especially if I can control what I end up like buying. But
Yeah,
when it's given to me like that in that big of bags,
no control
it's hard not to. So,
for sure.
but
So
my birthday was this weekend too, so we were in Louisville and got the Easter baskets and all that good stuff. So,
yeah, what'd you get in your Easter basket? Did you get fun? Did you get air fresheners?
no, no air fresheners. I'm trying to remember all that was in there. So I got obviously the sweet tart chicks, ducks, and bunnies.
Oh, the best.
I like I also got some sweet tart gummies, which they're pretty good actually. They're in the
I
studio
think
or
I've
else I
had
would
them
show
and they're
you.
delicious.
They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Basically just an assortment of things you would get at Ollie's that are, not commonplace staple candies, bagged candy. So obviously the candy situation. So it was kind of like an Easter slash birthday together. So because my birthday was on Easter this year. So um
420.
got I got like a little mini zester for
Mm. For
like
drinks?
I guess cocktails and stuff. Uh got some short straws, like glass straws with little
Oh,
like lemon or orange or whatever icon like glass emblems on them.
cool.
I got a couple of Beatles albums, like vinyls, because Rachel was saying that we didn't have any Beatles
Mm-hmm.
records
Do you have any
for
Beach
the
Boys?
dinner time. Have any what?
Beach Boys records?
Do you want to guess how many Beach Boys records I have?
7.
The answer is yes.
I
You know that I have Beach
don't
Boys.
Boys. Oh, the ice cream place always plays Beach Boys.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we probably have I think we have at least four, maybe five Beach Boys records.
That tracks.
I mean, most of them are from, so we got a lot of records from my parents, and then Rachel's parents also had a bunch. So we kind of
Hmm.
inherited a bunch of them and then slowly accumulated some here and there. But yeah, I love the Beach Boys.
Me too. My dad was a Beach Boys guy. I think he liked the Beatles, but it was not like something that I grew up with Beach Boys and like found the Beatles later. So like I don't even know all the Beatles songs like most people do, you know?
Yeah, we got the Magical Mystery Tour album and the Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Band.
Nice.
So they're not
I
like
love
the
that.
most popular albums, but they're kind of
Yeah.
in their probably their LSD phase of the
Mm.
of the history with the Beatles and stuff. So a lot of kind of weird songs in there. But that was the majority of the gifts and all that stuff. I'm probably leaving something out. I can't remember what else. Oh, I got a bunch of alcohol actually. So I got a bottle of it's like a peach bourbon from the local winery that's in southern Indiana, just across the river.
I have an interesting fact about bourbon.
What's that?
Ready? You can't actually have peach bourbon. Bourbon cannot have a flavor attached to it. So you actually got peach whiskey.
Okay.
I went to a distillery this weekend and that was one of the facts I learned.
That sounds like a thing
Continue.
that they say to like, I don't know.
Also, did you know that bourbon doesn't have to be made in Kentucky?
Yeah, I think I did know that actually.
Yeah, but Kentucky bourbon obviously has to be made in Kentucky or stored in Kentucky for 1 year.
Okay, it does say peach whiskey. So peach
Hmm.
flavored whiskey. Yes.
No, it's
That's
just I mean like I'm not trying to correct you. I think that's a really interesting fact. Like bourbon has so many rules around it.
yeah, because we got their blackberry. I think it was
Yum,
blackberry or blueberry. I think it's blackberry from
yummy.
the from Huber's last year or 2 years ago. So I got that one, and then my in-laws gave me a Basil Hayden bottle, which is the bourbon that I like to have old fashions with, because I just
Nice.
ran out. And then we actually got another bottle of Woodford Reserve from we missed Christmas time with our family and cousins and stuff on Rachel's side. Normally we were gonna do like a white elephant thing, and we ended up doing it at Easter because that was the next holiday where we all get together. So
Yeah.
we got a bottle of Woodford Reserve there. So
Nice.
nice and stocked up on the bourbon and whiskey.
That sounds great. Do you know what I got for Easter?
What?
A dead cat.
Oh gosh. Was it actually on Easter or not?
That's why I didn't text you until the next day because it was your birthday. And to everybody I told, I was like, don't tell Ryan because he'll be sad. Anyway, I know that was a really terrible joke, but it was funny. Um, this is
And you have a white cat that kind of looked like a
looks
bunny,
like
sort
a
of.
bunny. I
Yeah.
know. And he did not rise from the dead.
No.
No. Anyway, Lloyd got hit by a car on Easter Sunday. Um, I think it was in the morning. It might have been that night, like the night before. Uh, because I don't remember him coming into the van like in the morning. And I was in the hammock and I was like calling out for him a couple times in the morning and he never came, which is odd, but also not. And then I got a call from Preston, and he said that his mom saw him in their yard when she was going to church. So
Oh
he got
no.
hit by a car. Hopefully, I think that it happened quite fast because the people on this road drive so stinking fast. And Andrew, Andrew was like, not baby Andrew, stationary Andrew was like, well, he went out doing what he loved, disobeying you and going on an adventure. I was like, amen to
That
that.
tracks. That tracks.
That tracks. I mean, we all knew it was going to happen eventually, but yeah, it was rough. It was a rough Sunday, but also um a lot like I said I put like a post out and baby Andrew was like, that's going to be your most popular post of the year. Like you're correct.
It had a lot of engagement on it. There was a lot of comments. I mean, obviously people fled to it to say their condolences and everything, but
Yeah. Because obviously
obviously people love the adventures of Lloyd. So,
Lloyd it was an icon in the cat Instagram community. And but Sunday was a really rough day, and then like Monday, I don't know. Lloyd had so many things happening in the last like 3 months. He was continuously getting grumpier. I was microdosing him amoxicillin every day, probably. That's the only thing that made him happy. And and like he's just like I was always worried, always stressed. So honestly, I think this is kind of a blessing in disguise. And he also had AIDS, which Ryan knows. Nobody else knew. I didn't tell anybody because I was worried about the hate on the internet about him being outside, but I watched him like a freaking hawk to make sure that he didn't get in any fights. Um, so yeah. Uh so yeah, he every time he got hurt somehow, it was just like a ridiculous process of trying to get him healed, and I don't think he ever fully healed from some of those things, so he was always grumpy and always mad. And my life is a hell of a lot easier right now with only one cat. I love Lloyd to pieces, to bits and pieces, but it was a lot. It was like taking care of a toddler.
and being on the road, I mean, I mean, that, yeah, you have to. I mean, you have one vehicle, so like he's got to be with you, and
Right.
or
hmm
there's a limitation of like what you can do and can't do because he's out and about. He's going to do his own thing. So,
Yeah, and he was like progressively not listening and just kind of like going off on his own. Like I could never, he would run away from me when I would try to pick him up. Like he was just not in a great place. So I think he was in a lot of pain. So I do think that it was a blessing in disguise, and he will be missed.
and
Uh,
Dottie is living her single life.
Dottie is living the best grandma single life she's ever had. Like the fir- the first night, she like took up half the bed. She was like, "Look at me. I can sleep anywhere." She does not miss him. I will say that. I tried to take her out to his like, I like put him in the forest and I tried to like take her out there because I've heard that like if you take your cats out there, they like know what's going on and it's not as like depressing or whatever. And she just walked right past him and couldn't give two fucks. She was like, "Nah, don't give a shit. Can we go now?"
Mhm.
Yeah, so which is fair because he treated her like garbage. So,
Did did Dottie treat you differently? Do you think Dottie, because sometimes I think Marvel can like know when some of us are in certain, like, I don't know if we're giving off like
hmm.
hormones or something, or pheromones, or whatever that stuff is, that like you're giving off certain emotions and that it's like in the air and they can kind of like tell.
I think she's a little bit more clingy, like just a smidge, but also not. She's always been kind of like evasive as she's just like a cat, you know? She's like, let me be, I'll come to you on my terms.
Hmm.
So but I do think she's getting a little bit more like adventurous, which is a problem. Because like this morning, I left and she was already across the street and like in the field. And I was like, could we
Mhm.
not? Like, could we not? I don't want to have two cats that get like hit by a car, you know?
I thought the place that you were at was like isolated, but it sounds like it's probably like a 45-mile-an-hour road, like country road or something.
Yeah, not only is it a 45-mile-an-hour road, it is a 45-mile-an-hour road right next to a turn. So people swing around that turn going 60 miles an hour and they're
Shit.
going so fucking fast. Like they could care less. Like I walked across the road today and I always obviously look both ways and wait till all of the cars are gone. And I like got across the road and this like Forerunner was probably going 70 miles an hour. And
Shit.
I literally was like, slow down. And they did slow down a little bit, but it's just like such a dangerous corner. So dangerous. I can barely pull out without getting hit. Like, so
Yeah. You gotta shit it and get it when you get out there.
exactly. Shit it and get it. Never heard that before, but I like it. So anyway, that's what happened this week. But other than that, doing great. I got some bug nets and some bug repellent bait
Oh,
stuff.
it's that season. Got the
Hmm.
so there's a bug net right there in your door.
Not yet. It's at, I bought it. It's the same bug net I had previously, but I think I'll know how to install it a little bit better this time. And it's at the, I think it's at the like the box. I always ship it to the locker instead of my PO box because it just takes less time to get there, and I keep forgetting to pick
Hmm.
it up. But
Yeah, it'll be that
yeah,
season. I
I gotta
wonder
pick
how
it
the
up.
summer's gonna be there for you.
It's gonna be awful.
Gonna be cranking that fan at night, and it's probably been perfect the last week or so.
It's been
It's been
lovely.
really nice here.
Lovely.
Windows open, doors open.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the first time that it's been like even a little bit humid, just because it rained. But it's been really great. Yeah. Lots of hammock time. And Dottie gets on the hammock with me. Lloyd would never.
She just jumps up.
Yeah,
That's
she's
cute.
so cute. Yeah, she just like jumps up and then lays down. We just chill out, listening to books. Doing great.
Nice.
It makes me sound like a terrible person, but she's a really great cat.
I mean,
Like,
part of it's also
she's like
probably
so,
coping in the immediacy of it that you're like, okay, it's probably a good thing and all this other stuff,
probably.
but like, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, but she's like super chill and like solo maintenance. And like, God bless her for that.
yeah. Well, I mean, when you were getting back from Zika,
I
you were
can't.
expecting that she was just going to be like gone. I think you were like wondering if she was even going to come back or if she like
Yeah.
went off.
Yeah.
But
Yep. And she did peace out for a while, but she was across the street sleeping under a bush. So, you know, she just sleeps all day. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think they sleep like 16 hours a day or something like that.
not Lloyd. Not Lloyd. Lloyd slept while I was sleeping, and then he was awake the rest of the day, moving the rest of the day. I mean, when he was at your house, he went 2.5 miles.
Yeah. Well, he's permanently sleeping now, so he'll be sleeping 24 hours a day.
He is permanently sleeping now. Somebody was like, I hope he like is tormenting all the cats in cat heaven. And I was like, God, you know it. Like, I told somebody, I was
Have you
like,
ever checked on
"Lloyd."
his brother? Like who has have you checked on
So
Floyd?
Floyd,
Lloyd and
Floyd.
Floyd, right? Floyd?
So for those Floyd and Floyd, yeah. For those of you who don't know, I left Floyd in Washington with a family because Lloyd and Floyd were fighting a lot, like so much so that I couldn't keep them together because of Lloyd's like redirected aggression situation. It's always Lloyd. Lloyd's like the problem child. Like it is the animal that I couldn't give to somebody because he was that bad. And and so I gave him to this family and they like reached out to me a few times and she was like, he's peeing on my bed. And I was like, well, something's wrong. Like get a mattress
Yeah, why
cover.
are
Like
you?
I'm
Yeah, I haven't had
like
it. I haven't had him for like 3 years. Like, what do you've had him longer than I had him.
yeah, like I was like, get a mattress cover. Like figure out what he wants, you know? And I think they gave him up. I'll bet bottom dollar that they just tossed him, which is terrible, but I bet that they did. Or made him like an outdoor cat.
Yeah,
Um,
I thought you might have been saying that he was gonna be outdoor, but I can't remember.
I think I told her to like let him be outdoor. But so I haven't heard from them, no. And also if you didn't know, Lloyd and Floyd were the exact same. Like they're twins. So uh yeah,
Twins, button heads.
yeah. Yeah, oh, they were terrible. Like I had to separate them. And then, you know, yeah. I said that Lloyd is like the child that has like all of the special needs, like the bad special needs that like you have to like give him extra attention or else he's a total dick, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to give him more attention. And because he gets more attention, all the other cats are like, fuck that guy. And he was so spoiled
Yeah,
because
he's
he was
ruining it for the
so,
rest of us.
yeah, he was so spoiled because he was so bad all the time, you know? I mean, yes, he was good. He was a good cat and he, like, I trained him pretty well, but he also was not.
I mean,
Yeah,
cats are only gonna obey to a certain extent, so
exactly.
very independent.
Everybody was like, yeah, but he's your asshole. And I was like, yeah, that is 100% true. I helped create that asshole, so.
Yep.
First full week of working on wheels at work.
Full week.
So
Oh,
that
you historically you never did the entire week in that department?
no, well, I mean, I did the entire week, but I didn't like. How do I say this? I was like training, and now I'm like not training.
Oh.
Uh,
So you had an
I'm
out and now you're locked in.
I'm locked in. Like I have to hit rate every day, you know. Um, yeah, and it seems to be going pretty well. They've left me alone twice because Renzo had to leave. And both days I think I did okay. Today was one of them. I had like one mess up wheel today that I'm not like totally sure it's good. I'm not totally sure it's bad, so I just kind of left it on the table and Renzo's going to check it tomorrow. And then I had to, like really quickly do another one so I could hit rate. So, yeah.
How many wheels are we
Uh,
talking in a day?
16.
So fully assembling 16 wheels and like boxed up and ready to be shipped out?
Hmm.
Okay.
They say it should take 2 an hour of these types of wheels. The bigger wheels are less. The bigger
Which
wheels, I
wheels are
think they're
they?
these wheels are the clay bosses.
Clay boss.
And
Okay.
then
Yeah, the most common
yeah,
wheel.
yeah. So yeah.
Sweet.
Yappity yap yappers. So
I'm doing my
yeah.
first show this weekend. I got that coming up. I'm doing the Queen City Clay spring sale, which historically I haven't
Yay.
done. I've only done this I think once or twice before. I decided to do it to fill the weekend since I didn't get into Cherokee Triangle and it came available and I was like, "Hey, let's just add it. Let's add it in here. It's good." So,
Is it
and then
at Queen City Clay?
yeah, so it's indoor. It's kind of like their holiday bazaar that they do in November, but it's probably two-thirds the artists or maybe half of the number of artists.
Okay.
So it's a
Could you
smaller
check my
event.
display and see when you're there, could you check my display and see how many earrings I have? Maybe take a picture of it and then I'll
Yeah, I
send
can
them
do
some more.
that. Yeah.
Thanks. Um, cool. That'll be good. It's probably
Yeah.
cheap too, so
Yeah, it's a $25 table and then it's a
Mhm.
80-20 split, and then you just, you're there, you volunteer for an hour to wrap orders and stuff when people buy. So work out the checkout counter and pretty easy peasy. It's not
I
as
feel like I'm.
popular of the show comparatively, obviously because of the time of year, what are people buying this time of year, but Mother's Day gifts and stuff like that.
Yeah. I feel like I'm kind of almost to the point of being able to start making some pottery.
On a wheel? You back to the
Yeah.
wheel?
Yeah, I have an appointment with an orthopedic doctor, surgeon. Um, I don't know how I got this, but I got a really good doctor finally. I think
Nice.
she's really good. I don't know if she actually knows anything, but she's this older Indian lady and she's like just very matter of fact. Like she's like one of those people that I feel like would hit you with a shoe, you know? Like take your slippers, like your flip-flops off and smack you in the face. She's just like, "Okay, we're gonna do this. Okay, great. Let's do that." And then like the meeting's like super quick, but she's like super on top of it.
Yeah. Very efficient.
Yeah,
As
it's
long as you don't feel like she's, not willing to listen or something because she's trying to get you in and out of there kind of thing, but you just feel like a
no, it doesn't feel like that. It just feels like, and she's like very like, okay, I'll see you in a month, you know? Like she
that's
cares,
good.
but yeah, she's like efficient. It's great. And so she referred me to an orthopedic person, so I'm gonna get into physical therapy, hopefully.
Sweet. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, you've been figuring that out with the insurance and stuff too? Or do you have
Yeah,
to
I
figure
haven't,
something out because of the Tennessee, North Carolina situation? Or do you just,
nope. I have insurance now, and so I can just, I can just, do it.
sweet?
I have the card and everything. Um, and yeah, I've almost been at Speedball for 3 months record.
Nice.
May 5th will be 3 months.
Are you like off probation or whatever they call it? I don't, do they have
I guess
that?
on May 5th, I guess. I have like a review in a couple weeks, like this next week or the next week. I don't know.
Sweet. 3 months.
Yep. We'll see if I get fired or not.
Does it seem like it's been that long?
No, I don't think it does.
That's
It's
good. That
easier to wake
means
up in the morning unless I've had whiskey. And I went to a whiskey tasting and I felt like garbage the next day. And I drank maybe like a shot and a half of whiskey. That was it.
that doesn't
Garbage.
that's yeah. At least yeah. It seems like you would have more than that at a tasting than a shot and a half, but
They give you such small little samples. So,
tiny.
yeah. Anyway, um, anything else? Any new? Oh, tell everybody about your door.
Oh, I got it. So I posted on Instagram, I think probably been 2 weeks since then. But we had this door that Rachel found on Facebook Marketplace for $50. It's like a mid-century. How would you explain? It's just like a mid-century front door.
So it's a
It's
mid-century modern front door with the three window pane that goes down in a diagonal. The three rectangular window panes that go down in diagonal. It's
mhm,
it's like normal. Like it's not normal. It's very popular.
very
Yeah.
popular mid-century. Yeah. So she had it in the garage for the longest time. She was planning on putting it on our actual front door, but with
It
weathering
doesn't
and it wouldn't fit. It would still take hundreds of dollars and probably more than that to make it work on the front door, and it just wouldn't work. Like it wouldn't be a good front door. So I was like, what if we put this downstairs in my studio for that? Because we're keeping like we're doing some things with the basement with probably gonna recarpet it soon. We're keeping the wood paneling and everything. She's going to expose some more of the wood paneling around the basement. So I was like, what if we use this door and just put it on the studio would that be crazy? Would it be fine? Would it actually like hang okay, or would it be all messed up? And it actually fit pretty good. We had a handyman come out earlier this week and hang it. He just had to cut a little sliver off one side. He moved the hinges around and kept the same hinges on there, but Rachel's gonna resurface it later. But it's hanging, it shuts, it's great. So, and it opens
Honestly, I would love.
differently, so it's great.
Yeah, it does. It opens out instead of in. I would love to see it be orange. I think it would look beautiful orange, but I know you want to keep the wood.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna keep the wood tones.
Is it the same color as the paneling that's next to it? Because it looks similar, but I don't know if that's
Pretty
the.
pretty much. I mean,
It looks a
it's a
little bit.
it's a little rough, it's a little darker, but it
Okay,
could be
yeah,
that the wood paneling is in really good condition.
yeah. So
So,
yeah, it looks good. It's like
maybe, I mean,
cedar.
it's weathered from being a front door, so,
Yeah,
probably sand it down, stain, maybe put a little stain on it, put some poly, or maybe just put poly over it and make it look really good. But it's
yeah.
nice. Nice new addition to the studio and repurposing that door. That's been in the garage for like 6 months or 9 months, and I was like, we need to do something
Love
with
that.
this.
Hell
So there
yeah.
we go. Yeah, that's what's new.
Sweet.
Did we,
Well, we
can we read one of the reviews that we got? Or
yeah,
do you want to
for sure.
do, okay. So we got this probably about a couple months ago by now. This is from our friend Hannah at Three Lick Pottery. It's a long one, so stick in there, folks. It reads, My favorite pottery podcast. When I first started listening to this podcast, I thought, are they ever going to talk about pottery? However, now that I've been listening for over a year, I can say I absolutely love everything about this podcast. Ryan and Becca are both super knowledgeable and two totally different personalities that play off each other so well. The opposing yet funny and friendly nature of the two hosts makes for a very entertaining listen. I want to note that I love the new Maker of the Moment segment they are doing. You can tell Ryan is very thought out and methodical in his approach and response, and Becca is very shoot from the hip. I love how she takes the listeners down rabbit holes and makes up stuff like pottery with a capital P, Potter with a capital P. The way these two talk make you feel like a best friend listening in. Plus, when they talk about their sponsors, it doesn't feel forced or pushy, but has legit made me want to buy an L&L kiln.
That
LOL. Hotkilns.com.
LOL. What impressive timing. Really, truly.
Yeah. Because what are we going to talk about, Becca?
Hotkills.com.
Thanks for that, Hannah. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
Hannah. You the best.
So, what about
Okay,
Hotkilns? What are we talking about? What about L&L?
well, I think there's so many things to say, but the first thing, especially since I've like repaired a few other kilns recently, the fact that they don't have any, you don't have to crimp the connectors is really nice, especially this is like super small, but especially as a potter with carpal tunnel, crimping connectors is like really difficult for me. And it's always, I've literally, like the last time I was at the Tilted Kiln, I made Joe do it. I was like, you
Mm-hmm.
have to cut because they have all scuts. And I was like, you have to cut them. I can't do it. I don't have strong enough,
Yeah.
like, I can't do it.
A lot of times you can't even just cut it with a regular pliers. Like you need heavier duty pliers to cut
Yeah.
the elements
I
or
think,
crimper too. The crimps need a certain tool to not like just
yeah,
absolutely crush the crimps,
yeah.
but you don't need crimps on this one, so
Yeah, and all you have to do is kind of like bend it around. And I'm not saying that it's the easiest thing in the entire world, but bending it is a hell of a lot easier than crimping. And what's great about that is that if you mess up or something like that, it's a lot easier to fix. You know, like if you crimp it too close, you could be you might have to like buy a whole new element, and this is not the case. Like you can get away with futzing a little bit and messing up if you need to, which means that it's really beginner friendly. And that's like was really nice, you know, especially because Especially like not even like fixing or changing out the elements, but like having the Genesis controller makes it super beginner friendly, but also it makes it like super nice for people that actually want a specific schedule. Like you have that, right?
Yeah, if they're more advanced, or let's say, uh, Andrew that does crystalline pottery, like
Hmm.
he needs very specific programs to fire those crystalline firings, and it's super advanced. You've got the Genesis controller. It's also, when you're doing high volume, you've got a lot of pots in that kiln. You want to be confident that it's going to fire consistently from top to bottom. You can load it however you want. It's got the three thermocouples, so it'll level itself out with the zone control, and it's just like overall, like I've been way happier with the quality of consistency from top to bottom compared to some older kilns that I've had where it's just got one thermocouple. And I'm like, is this like I just got used to it being like half a cone to a whole cone difference from top to bottom. And that's not really a thing with my LNL that I've been, had. Now I've got two of them, or well, three of them technically, but using those for the longest time, it's just like I'm just used to it now. So easy peasy with the Genesis controller.
I was gonna say something and then I completely forgot what I was gonna say, so never mind. But oh, I remember what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that I remember when I was doing production stuff and I was like so against three thermocouples, like having three thermocouples in the kiln as opposed to having one. And that's mostly because I never needed anything to be like super perfect. But now I appreciate it. I appreciate having three. It's not that hard to avoid them. You know, but
Yeah.
it definitely gives you a little bit more predictability.
Yeah, if I had very specific pieces that are very specific heights and I was consistently trying to fill it a certain way, but I mean, I just get used to using certain posts at the bottom and making sure that I keep the thermocouples kind of right in the middle of a shelf, not like in the middle vertically of a shelf so that it's, fully clear all the way around and it's not obtrusive. And then if you do happen to bump it, they have it's not just the thermocouple sticking into the kiln. It's actually got the porcelain or ceramic like tube around it, so it's protected, so you don't bump into it. Or if you do, it's not a big deal. So that's a
Right.
nice addition. So you're saving those
I'm pretty
thermocouples.
I'm pretty good at bumping things. Pretty
Yeah.
pretty good. That's a definite talent of mine. And it is nice to not have to worry about that. But I also
It's
love that if you fuck one up, then you you can like default to the other two. It's a little bit of work, but you can default to the other two.
yeah. I mean, you can replace the ceramic tube if you need to, if you happen to break that for some reason. But breaking a ceramic tube versus breaking a thermocouple might be a little easier to replace.
Yeah.
And the thermocouple guards work really well in the soda kiln because typically the thermocouple would be completely exposed to the soda, but since it's inside that tube, it's not directly exposed to the soda, so it makes my thermocouples last. Like they probably would have been out by now
Oh yeah, that's a
if
good
I
point.
would
I
have
never
been sticking them right in the soda kiln without the guard on it. So I kind of lucked out. So I say I have three LNLs. Technically, I have four if you include the soda kiln, but I'm not really firing it with the electricity like the other ones. But it's still a shell of an LNL. So
yeah.
LNL all around.
Yeah, and hopefully if I get settled enough, I can get another one. Like, well, I'll get my first like I don't want to say legit because the plug and fire is a legit LNL, but I'll get my first kiln that I can put like a vase in or
Yeah,
like a mixing bowl in, you know?
more like production. Where I mean, you could do production of like earrings and stuff, but
Yeah,
if you had pottery that you needed to put a batch of it in, yeah.
yeah.
All right, Becca, where do we go to find all the good stuff about L&L?
Hotkilns.com. Also, can you imagine our ads without the jingles? Really, truly.
Exactly. And we got another jingle that we're gonna have for you later, so you'll have to stick around for that.
I might have to.
Yeah.
I have a couple.
All
Yeah.
right. Are we going to maker of the moment?
Oh, I think we are.
All
Shit.
right. Do you have yours handy,
Ah!
or do you want me to start?
Okay. I'm sorry. I got my calligraphy pen out to like draw, and I was in the middle of doing some stuff. And so I didn't want to stop because I was in the moment. Okay, I will start. Oh shit. Oh, hold on. Now I will start. Okay. My maker of the moment has 2,530 followers. And I will say that it is not like the most refined pottery, but God, is it fucking adorable. So it is the the it's the introverted potter. I don't know their name.
I, based on the Instagram, I think it's Maritza.
Okay. But it looks like they live in Duwamish, which is like north of Seattle, I believe. It's more the like the Native American land. Um, and they're a resident at the Clay Corner, Seattle, and their first post is my favorite. It's this goose with a knife in its beak. And, and it's so freaking cute. Do you see it?
It says you are a silly goose.
Yeah, and like, and then did you see the one with like the little hats? And oh
Yeah.
my God, so stinking cute. It's just so the plate with all the gooses. Are you kidding me? Like it's so stinking cute.
They kind of remind me. It's got some with a little. I don't. Wait, it's kind of like a veil, I guess. That's tied around the neck. It kind of reminds me. My grandparents had a concrete goose on their porch, and my
Yes.
my grandma would swap out the. I don't know if it's like a scarf or kind of like a hat. They would swap it out on the concrete goose on their porch.
Yeah, and they make like tiny things and it's just so stinking cute. Like everything is cute. And it's very illustrative and very bright colors and just weird. Like
Hmm.
ring fingers that are like actual fingers and like ghosts and stuff. And it like feels the cuteness of polymer clay put into clay, you know? Like keep in mind that I love polymer clay, so that is not a dig. I love polymer clay. I just think that it's hard to get that same style, and I
Hmm.
feel like they really achieved it. It's just so stinking cute.
I like the little luchadora cups. They're cute.
Yeah, like just everything. It's so bright, so like painterly, very consistent. Like lots of flowers, like 70s-ish, very color poppy. Um, And you can see they really like found their style in the last couple of, I don't know. Let me see where uh in like the last year. You can tell that they really like found because their Instagram changes a little bit
Mm.
to be more consistent and I really think it's working for them. So, yeah,
Yep. So
I
that's
love.
it's Maritza Leon. Maritza Leon from the dot introverted dot potter on Instagram. All right, mine is Danny Chevalier. I think that's how you say her last name. And her Instagram is a sketchy pottery shop. So we went and visited Danny, and she's just across the river. The It's not the river. She's just across the border in Ontario, just outside of Detroit, Michigan. So we went and visited her. Tecumseh is where the city name. So she has like a little pottery shop, but it's also she like co-owns Urban Surf, which is a they do like kayaking and paddleboarding and They have a little pottery shop, so it's kind of like a balance seasonally with what they're doing. They're doing pottery pretty much year round, but when it gets to be nicer weather in Canada, they're doing paddleboarding and things like that. So we visited in the summer of 23, I think, and it was
Yeah.
really really nice to get to see her in person. We've talked through Instagram for quite a few years. She always had, questions and things like that that I could help out with, and we did, some live throwing together a couple times, and it's just one of those people that like you get the energy from them, and it's like, the positivity, and you just, can't help but um kind of get that sense of enjoyment of, even though she's like still learning and things like that, like there's a lot of enjoyment there of the process and trying new things, and mostly educating and running the businesses and that kind of thing, but she's still making some work on the side as well and selling it a few shows a year or a couple shows a year. But their business name is
Nice.
Sketch Clay and Pottery, and
I thought it was
a
pot.
sketchy pottery shop is the name of their Instagram, but the
Oh
name of
yeah.
the business is called Sketch.
Okay, well, I forgot to highlight it. But it'll be highlighted soon. It just has to upload and it's taking a minute.
Okay. So a sketchy pottery shop.
Do you notice the cup that I'm drinking out of?
It's hard to tell whose that is because it's a little
It's
blurry.
yours, you bitch. It's
Is it
yours.
mine?
Yeah,
It's
it's your.
so blurry I couldn't even recognize my own cup.
Oh, well, it's yours, and it's one of my favorite cups to drink out of, mostly because it won't break. Um, when I just
Well, now that you said that,
what?
I said, well, now that you said that, it's gonna break.
No, I don't think it will. But seriously, it's like the perfect size. I love it.
It's one of the soda fire tumblers,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
yeah, nice. I like it a lot.
Nice. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think that's the maker of the moment for the day.
Huzzah!
So you'll get that on the Instagram and people can look at the highlights and all that good stuff.
Did you hear that?
Kind of, but I couldn't tell what it was.
I swear to God, like the people that drive on this road are absolute douche nozzles. Like the amount of sound that their cars produce when accelerating is unbelievable.
Oh, I thought I heard somebody talking. I didn't hear if it was like a revved engine or something.
Unbelievable. There's this one guy that has like a terrible, like, I don't know, terrible engine, and every time he accelerates, it goes pop, 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 pop. And it's awful.
Yeah, those are like, you need to get that thing checked out.
They don't do it on purpose. They like it.
Well, it probably didn't sound as loud inside the car.
You know what? That's probably true.
So maybe they don't know it's that bad.
They do.
They
People,
probably do. All right. What else we got? Are we talking about are we talking about another one of our friends?
yeah, we should. We should just scoot it on in there together.
All right. So I actually just did a post today, which is why I was late to the podcast because I was getting some new tests out from the Speedball Midfire glazes that just came out. So they've got six new colors. They debuted them, I think, at Enseca. It might have been the first time that folks got an actual look at them in person. But there's six new ones. They're sold in pints. I myself and Erica got a bunch of them tested out in the last couple weeks. I got 10 different combos tested with like layering to see what they look like, and pretty nice ones. So they've got Let's see, I actually wrote them down. So I think the first batch that they had were they probably got 12 to 18 already out there, I believe, and maybe they've got 12 out there. But the six new ones are Lemon Drop, Galaxy Mist, Prisma Green, Blue Flame, Natural Opal, and Dragon's Eye.
Which one's your favorite?
I think the Blue Flame is probably my favorite. It actually is tough. Like when you're, I was having a hard time distinguishing it, Blue Flame and Galaxy Mist. Galaxy Mist is kind of like Dragonstone, if people are familiar with that color. Dragonstone is more light green or tealish with hints of red, and
Okay.
it kind of looks microcrystally a little bit. Galaxy Mist is kind of like those hints of red is more, it's more like purple with like hints of red.
And it's fluxy, right? It's like it fluxes a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like it's got little like flecks in there, but it's not solid flecks like you would like some glazes that you mix up and you make sure to stir it up good because you kind of want those little bits of chunks in there that'll kind
Mhm.
of like melt. So Galaxy Mist and Blue Flame both skew a little bit more purple, especially on the speckle clay. Um, the Lemon Drop was one I wasn't sure about because it's so like bright yellow. It's like a lemonade. Yeah, it just looks like a lemon drop. So.
I would like you to send me a picture of all your samples, please, because
But it's nice. It's got
oh, I guess they're on Instagram.
it makes some good combos. Here, I'll send you a couple photos of some of the there's the photos of like all of them.
Okay.
But I definitely had some favorites. I think the blue flame pairs nicely with a lot of colors. So, that's probably why it's my favorite. And
Okay.
some of them like I've already got a bunch of greens, so I'm not as wowed by the Prisma green, but I think it does look really good and really solid. If I didn't already have a green in the assortment, I think that would be a nice addition. And then,
And when yeah, these look great. I like the lemon drop. I almost wish it was a little bit yellowier, brighter, but that's because I like everything bright. But it is a really nice yellow, and it does look like a lemon drop. Oh my gosh.
yeah, it's pretty matte. It is matte like a lemon drop. Like it's not a super glossy. And maybe it could have got a little more glossy with a little more thickness, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a good.
I like it.
I like the Prisma green on top of the Galaxy Mist. I think that's really beautiful. The dragon's eye on top of the Prisma green is so pretty.
Which one do you like better, the speckled or the white?
White.
The white. Yeah, the Prisma green is pretty sweet. Like on the little subtle textures, it'll break and leaves a little bit. It's kind of got like little tan bits on the white.
Nice. That's nice, nice, nice.
And that one is like skewing a little bit more. It almost looks like it's going to start microcrystalline or
Did you do
something.
the green on top of the lemon drop? I feel like that look could look really cool.
I did not. The only lemon drop ones I did, you can kind of see in the group photo. The only lemon
Mhm.
drop ones I did was lemon drop with Galaxy Mist and lemon drop with Blue Flame.
Sad. So sad.
So I'll have to try that. The lemon drop was good on top of other colors too. I feel like when
Yeah,
it's not the dominant color, it's a nice addition. And it
yeah.
was really hard to distinguish between like if you're looking at the group photo, the one with the purple bottoms, that's the blue flame. I was having a hard time distinguishing from the one that has natural opal on top versus the one that has lemon drop on top because they look kind of similar. But I think the natural opal, I didn't do a ton of testing with the natural opal, but I think that will also pair really well with a lot of these.
Hmm.
And it's more of a, by itself, it looks like just kind of like a white or like a, it's got hints of like a little bit of blue to purplish hues to it, but it's got really nice results when you layer it on top of other colors.
I feel like the natural opal is going to be a layering glaze, you know?
Yeah. So I'll definitely do some more test. The one that I'll probably use the least of the batch is probably Dragon's Eye, just because it's so vibrant blue.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe if you layer that on top of other colors, it kind of tones it down a little bit.
Yeah, that would be a really good liner though, I feel like.
Yeah, but they're pretty good. It's a pretty good assortment. That there's not, there are some purpley kind of tones in here with multiple of them, but I would say it's a good assortment
I
of
should
of.
I'm, when I start doing my cups, I want to start using the speed balls for liners because stroke and coats just are too expensive, but also I don't know. I don't want to paint them. But and I
I
know
was
they
it's kind of nice seeing the videos of other people using them because I think Will was pouring some of the
yeah,
bottle in there and then just painting it. So like it can spread pretty good.
yeah, exactly. And like if you if you just water it down a little bit, you can pour it in and dump it out.
Hmm.
Uh but yeah, I don't want to use underglaze on the liner with like a clear on top, but I also want like some nice bright colors. So
Yeah, you can find some good ones. I mean, their line is pretty vast now. I mean,
I
I probably
agree.
need to look this up of how many colors they have now, but they're getting a pretty good assortment. Oh, ceramics.
Do you remember our jingle for Speedball?
You spell it out, I know that.
I do spell it out. Should I say it? Oh wait, where can you find
Three.
it?
Speedballart.com.
That's right. Okay. Um,
They have 36 colors now.
wow, that's a lot. Okay, it goes Speedball Speedball.
There we go.
I
Yeah,
love being able to make all the jingles.
these have, yeah, if you're, I'm looking at you should definitely go to their website and see the variety of the colors in comparison to the other colors. I would say a lot of the other ones had more translucent kind of a effect, and then they had additive color
Yeah.
to like a clear glaze. And then there's a few that have hints of some texture in there. But if you're a big fan of like a lavender mist or the dragonstone, it have a lot of that varied texture depending on how thick it is. You're gonna like a number of these new ones a lot because at least I would say 4 to 5 of them do similar effects. So of these new ones.
Let's see. Burr, burr, burr. New, 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 new. Yeah, I really want to try like the raspberry fizz and the living coral.
Yeah, those are pretty nice. They don't maybe I didn't do one thick enough, but I didn't the living coral can also skew a little bit pink.
Oh yeah.
And maybe yeah. So I tried some of those a while back, but um yeah, those would be pretty good. They're
Hell yeah.
pretty pretty solid, like glassy wise and not like having a lot of issues on them.
Yeah. I also like the midnight plum color. It's like a color that I feel like we don't see a lot in ceramics. Is that dark purple?
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think that would look nice on like a porcelain or so it
Yeah.
doesn't get lost in the sauce with a dark clay or speckle clay. I have
100%.
it, but I don't think I've tried it.
But it might be nice on a darker clay just to be like a subtle, like, hey, I'm not black, you know? Like, hey,
Hmm.
I got tones. I got like, some fun tones.
Hmm. Or maybe on some texture, if you had texture on a darker clay and it broke over the texture and it kind of like highlighted it different.
For sure.
All right,
Oh,
go check out those mid fire glazes and go to their Instagram too. They've got a bunch on there because I just did a post, but there's a bunch of folks using those so you can see kind of how versatile they are on different clay bodies. If if you don't use the same, standard white clay that they do most of their tests and stuff on.
Have I told you how this is not related at all, but have I told you how great boxed wine is?
No, but I mean, I have not heard any negatives about box wine. It goes way
I
longer and it's probably cheaper. I mean,
Yeah, I got it from Costco. I think it was like 13 bucks. And I don't have to worry about it going bad because I don't drink that often. I pretty much only drink when I talk to you. No, that's not true. I drink sometimes.
I was gonna say you're on a pretty good regimen if you only drink when you talk to me.
I don't drink all the time when I talk to you, just sometimes. And I don't know if I'm going to wake up really tired tomorrow or not, but we'll see.
I like on the side of the box it showed like 5 bottles or something on it.
And let me look. It's on on the side. 3 liters is equal to four 750 milliliter bottles.
Oh
So
my
this is four
gosh.
bottles in this box.
I
And
mean, that's the negative thing is you don't know exactly how much you're drinking because it's hidden.
okay, but could we get glazes like this? I want glazes like this where you just pour it out.
You just shake it up and then
Shake
you
it
just
up
pour it
and
out.
pour it out.
Do it.
That'd be cool. Uh,
But
yeah,
where would you pour it? I guess you would pour it into other pots until you use all the glaze up
yeah, I guess so.
because you wouldn't want to pour it back in.
I do want to get some glaze, like a liner glaze that I like, and put it in like a 1 gallon bucket that has a spout on it, so that I can just pour it out and then dump it back in.
I mean, you gave me that bucket that was like that.
That was a 5 gallon bucket, wasn't it? Or no, it was a 1 gallon
It's like
bucket.
a 3 gallon bucket, I think, or 2 gallon.
Right. It was a 3 gallon bucket. Yeah, I want to do that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty nifty.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I could use a fucking glaze pump or something like that, but I could also just fucking pour it out of
Old
this.
school.
Put
Get it out of there, stir it around, dump it
it
back in.
around, dump it back in.
That's a great idea. I have yet to use that, but maybe
You can
maybe it's
use
in
it
the
on your most,
cards. What'd you say?
you can use it on your most popular liner glaze.
Yeah, Erica's been doing a lot of the glazing lately, so uh but yeah, we could probably make that work somehow. It'd be nice to just do it, turn it out right into the oil bottle or right into the mug or whatever and not have to deal with another cup.
Yeah, because like, do you line your oil bottles with the same thing? Because I would. I would line my oil bottles with fucking clear.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of them we do line it with whatever. If it's a combo with two different colors, we'll line it with whatever glaze is the cheapest to produce so that it's cheaper.
I love you, Ryan.
Why would you not do that?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I
Why
don't use clear. Clear's a smart option if your clear is super solid. You just use clear on everything that you can't see the inside of
why would I know what the cheaper glaze to produce is? That's the question.
because I produce them and I know which glazes cost the most.
I know, but like a lot of people just don't pay attention to that shit, you know? And you do. He smiles. You kind of look like Mario tonight with your red hat.
I don't usually wear this hat. I was thinking about getting rid of it. I'm trying to decide if I want to keep it or not.
Yeah, because it's a
Cincinnati Reds hat, but it's so bright red. I don't usually wear red, so it feels a little weird. What's that?
maybe you look good in red. Maybe you should step outside of your box.
I don't know. It's too bright. It's too much for me.
Okay, let's talk about what we're going to talk about.
All right, so you came up with a topic. We're gonna say, what products do you think sell best for spring and summer versus fall and winter, and which ones do not sell as well during these times? So we're kind of focusing on spring and summer to start, and then we'll kind of see where we get with fall, winter, kind of seasonal stuff. But obviously, shows are coming up. Folks are going out and about and starting to see customers in person, and deciding what, I mean, it might be a little bit late for making stuff for brand new, but if you're thinking about what you want to be making and selling and had success with.
Right, because like, I think about it and when I was like trying to plan for summer and stuff, me and Andrew would talk about what would be the best thing to sell and we'd make a list at the beginning of the season and then I kind of like go from there and sometimes your brain is just like completely stuck and you're just stuck in what you've always done and maybe there is a form out there that you haven't thought about that is like one of those things that's like obvious that we never look at. It's like maybe this is the first time listening to our podcast and you've never heard of a garlic grater, you know, like,
Hmm.
or you've never thought about how well those sell. And I don't know, it's just kind of like a good one to kind of get your mind thinking, even if it's not, even if you know everything that we talk about, it's still good to like start thinking about that and start kind of like expanding your brain a little bit.
Yeah, if there's something that I would say a lot of folks because I was struggling a little bit thinking about the forms that I would want to make or that I don't, that I make that are kind of seasonal, quote unquote. But I kind of intentionally have kind of stuck away from those things. But, there still are items that I make that are seasonal. I just think of them as, approachable enough that people can buy them whenever during the year.
Right, like all the time. And
But,
that's
like 80% of my forms are pretty much year round. They're not seasonal.
right, and that's still good. And like, and it's good to still talk about that because, people are maybe have never done a show before and they're like, what fucking, like, what forms do I make? You know?
Hmm.
So let's start with, since you're doing shows, let's start with what you've made, like, what is in your pretty much consistent product line. I'm going to start writing them down so we don't double up.
Mugs, spoon rests,
Okay.
garlic graters. They kind of double as spoon rests, but
Yep.
oil bottles.
Okay.
Mm,
Shot
I'm
glasses.
I don't actually take shot glasses to shows, but
Okay. You're
you
still included. Okay.
you could say shot glasses. Um, soup bowls. Those are tend to lean toward the seasonal item, but they're also versatile enough. Some
And the
people,
things are a bowl with a handle.
yeah, cereal. You could also add cereal bowl in there if you want. Cereal bowl,
Okay. How about
vase,
vases? How about sponge holders?
sponge holder is a newer thing for me. Yeah,
Those are
and
right.
what's that?
Sponge holders are new this year.
I made them last year, but I didn't really make a ton of them. So I would say this is the first like full year that I'm actually like
Hmm?
making some.
Okay. What else? Anything else?
How am I blanking on? Now I need to like look at my shelving to see if I'm missing something. I feel like I'm glaringly something is glaring at me that I'm missing, but I can't think of it.
Let's see. Spoon rests, oil bottles, cups. Do you do cups?
Yeah, I don't make any cups,
Okay.
handled cups. I make cocktail glasses. I
Okay.
guess those are cups. Yeah, cocktail glasses. Okay, yeah, those are cups.
Okay. And I'll go over the stuff that I like to kind of that I would probably add.
I have yarn bowls too, but if we're talking yarn bowls, berry bowls, those are the only other two things.
Okay. Okay, so I always have uh mixing bowls. Now, like I feel like now in my
Are you
late
s- are you speaking everything that you have, or because I was speaking everything because I don't really have seasonal things that I take in and out. But
Yeah, but I'm not doubling up on your stuff, if that
okay,
makes
yeah, you're adding to it. Okay.
I'm adding to it. So like something different. Like I really like mixing bowls, big mixing bowls. They're actually a really good seller, especially at farmers markets because people are willing to buy them and take them right home. Um, I'm a fan of wine glasses with a thumb indent. I like
So like a tumbler. You call them tumbler?
tumblers. Yeah, I mean like but not a tumbler, not like a tumbler size, like a 10-ounce size instead of like a 16-ounce size. I
Mm-hmm.
personally like the 16-ounce size, but I find that they don't sell as well. But if you do have anything tall, I think adding a thumb indent basically sells it for you.
The
People,
oil bottles with the dents in it
yeah,
definitely
people
help
like
sell
thumb
it.
indents. They're just ridiculous that way. Uh, and then in that way, I don't have to do a handle. Um, my friend does candle holders, like the
Why?
can,
Like a yeah, like a voted yeah.
the tall stick candles. She does
Mm-hmm.
those. Candle holders. We kind of talked last week with Jody about how like play settings don't really sell. I do small bowls like the pinch pots, ring holders. Obviously, I do jewelry, but we're not going to add that because I don't think that it's
You've
super.
made ring holders?
Yeah, ring
Oh.
holders are a hot seller. Also, if you want to torture yourself, butter dishes are a huge seller. But you know, that's like if you
Hmm.
want to make them, but bro.
It's probably not bad being one of the only ceramic artists that have butter dishes at a show, because like there's gonna be people that are looking for them.
100%. I also like a snack bowl. So something that's like between a cereal bowl and a pinch pot, like something small and something that's like 2 cups worth, something that you can put like a thing of nuts or whatever. And I
Hmm.
sell them in sets of four, and those seem to sell really well.
It could, if you're controlling about how much ice cream you eat, it could be like a small ice cream bowl, maybe.
For sure. Yeah. And but like people like those for their kids. They like little snack bowls for their kids. And if you make them like thick enough, they don't get freaked out about breaking them. Obviously, for me, a garden stake.
Hmm.
And what really sold well for me back in the day was mise en place, which you would think is the same thing as a pinch pot. It's not. It for me, they were like different little hand built, just smushed bowls, and they were short. And I just threw them in a big pot, like a big container, and people like rifled through them, and they were 3 for $10. And they were super cheap, super easy to make, super easy to glaze. They took up a lot of space in the kiln. That was probably the worst part. Um, but really good. Like, it's something. It's like $10. Who cares, right? Um, I feel like
Did you ever make any bud vases or anything like that?
no, not really. I do feel like bud vases sell well in the right market. Oh, planters. You don't make planters anymore, but if you make the right type of planter, I think that they sell well.
Yeah, I mean, I still have a handful around, but I pretty much, I
Hmm.
mean, there's a consignment shop that I took a bunch of planters to, and they actually came back and said the customers have been wanting saucers for them, so if they were willing to have them, they had to be with saucers that they could be sold with or separately.
Hmm.
So I'm actually stocking up on saucers that I can give them with the 40 or 50 planters I gave them,
Yeah,
because otherwise like I haven't made planters in probably 2 years,
right.
unless it's for a commission order or something specific like that.
Hanging planters are really nice.
Yeah, I had a little run 2021, 2022, I think, with macrame with hanging planters.
Yeah.
That was a there was a friend of ours that made macrame planters and they paired with my planters at one point and then you can sell them together and we even sold them at a like they were at a steal price. They were like 28 bucks with the macrame and the planter. At one point with a plant in it, it was a steal. And then it was hard to keep up and you're relying on somebody else to make the planters and certain colors and all that stuff. It's kind of hard to manage, but they kind of
Yeah.
tiered they kind of fell off after COVID.
Yeah. What do you think are things that you would just not make, especially in the summer, or not sell?
Not sell based on what I already make or just other
Just
forms that I just choose
yeah,
not
like
to
just
make.
sell and like why you haven't sold them, you know?
Most of it comes down to just limitation on what I want to be making. So like obviously I'm not going to sell pumpkins in the summer. I'm not going to sell like pie plates in the summer. Like I mean I'm just listing off things I'm not going to make, but
Yeah.
um
I think pie plates have their place, but they have their place in very specific booths. Like country potters can have pie plates, but if you have like one pie plate out of like, and you're just maybe you're
it
not a country potter, you're like more of a modern potter, and you have like a variety of items, a pie plate just sticks out and it doesn't work.
kind of like a brie baker, like if you had brie baker with a pie plate, like that they kind of paired well, right? They're kind of
Hmm.
so you're kind of hitting that customer that wants to have a nice gift to give with, baker friends or whatever. Um, I also never made, you mentioned the butter keepers or the butter dishes. Like I'm not making those. I've seen like bacon cookers and things like that that are kind of like super niche
Yeah, they're super niche. Garlic.
and
Oh, garlic pots. I forgot about garlic jars.
garlic pots. I feel like that might be one that I would be willing to try because it's within the realm of something that I already well, I don't really make anything jars, honestly. I don't make
Yeah.
anything in two pieces that are not attached. We're not talking like
Sarah,
a mug with a handle. We're talking about like a jar.
Sarah Rich Creek makes garlic jars and they sell like fucking hotcakes. If you want to find a really amazing garlic jar, look up Mimeo Pottery. M-I.
Mimeo tableware? Isn't
Yeah,
that
I
the?
think it's Mimeo Tableware, yeah. She makes the most phenomenal garlic jars you'll ever see. They're fucking beautiful. But yeah, I feel like garlic jars, like anything that's like a cooking hack. Oh, didn't you start making strippers?
I only made four, so I haven't tested them yet. I made four of them though. Ooh, Sarah's jars are pretty. Those are pretty nice.
Sarah is a grade A potter. She is
Hmm.
like a fucking phenomenal potter.
Capital P Potter?
Uh, no.
What's the difference between a grade A and a capital P and a lowercase p?
She's just really high quality.
Okay,
Like
it's the craftsmanship.
like her craft is like fucking phenomenal, you know? And
That's
she,
Mimeo, Mimeo on
yep,
Instagram. So
Mimeo tableware, dot tableware.
yeah,
She just like takes a lot of care in the things that she makes.
yeah,
And I appreciate that about her. Another thing that she makes is tableware, like table settings, and those do not do well at shows. But if you make tableware, I think that having like a set at a show is a good thing for you because you can get custom orders from that.
yeah. I
Pretty,
think it's a great plus to show. Here's what I'm willing to make.
yeah,
Here's how it feels. Like here's the weight of it. Here's the size of it. Here's the price of it. Like usually it's a starting a conversation with that, and if you can immediately like answer somebody's questions in the moment of here's what you can expect, and the only options you have are basically a glaze option to a different glaze that I might have
yeah,
available, or maybe you have one of each glaze and you have like a four-piece set with all four different colors in the one set or something. So you can be like, you can pick one of these four colors. but showing them like upfront, here's how much it costs per setting, and you just scale it. Say, how many settings do you want? You know,
Yeah. Um, I thought of two more. A Palo Santo burner is super popular right now.
what is that? Is that like a chimenea?
I don't know what a chimenea is, but
That's what
probably.
Isaac makes, the little
Oh,
chimney
okay.
things.
Um, yes and no. So a Palo Santo is, I mean, like it depends on if you want to be all super politically correct with this or not, but Palo Santo is this like piece of wood that they use for like smudging and like rituals and shit like that. And it smells really nice. And the Palo Santo burner is basically, it kind of looks like a donut. So it's a circle with another circle inside, and that circle inside is kind of like a volcano, so you can hold the Palo. It's a piece of stick, right? It's a stick, so you can like hold the Palo Santo in there, and then when it starts to ash, the ash goes in the outer
Hmm.
ring.
It kind of looks like a candle holder.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, I can see them. I just Googled them to see what they look like, but yeah, there's some different ones that kind of look more like a little mini pizza oven with a little chimney on it. And then some of them look like more like a dish where it's like sitting out. And then
yeah.
there's
It's
ones that are
like
circular with
with a tiny little shot glass on the inside. I made a shit ton of these for Gravesco, and they sold like hotcakes. So, like the wood that that one's beautiful. You know the wood that Kate Schrader uses in her
for
little.
her mom burners.
Yeah, those are Palo Santo that she just like cuts up really small.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, but those and like incense burners I feel like are really popular if you're in the right area. Like I don't think they'd be really great in North Carolina, but I do think they'd be great in Seattle, in
Pacific Northwest for sure. Yeah.
like like bigger cities would be good if there's like a high percentage of white women that shop at like Whole Foods. Um, that would be good. You
Probably
don't
be
have,
a good sale at like the city flea show.
yeah, you don't have to agree with it, but you should make money off of it. Uh, that's how I feel about it. And then another thing is a salt cellar. People love salt cellars and they want salt cellars. Mimeo Tableware also makes a fucking great salt cellar. And she like
Garlic pot,
it.
salt cellar. And salt cellar just like that can just be a little bowl, right?
Yeah, but ideally it's got a cover on it so nothing falls inside of it. So the way Sarah makes them is she makes a dome and then she cuts it and then she kind of like makes a little mouth.
I see. Okay, I see one of them she's got.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cute.
Anyway, this is a huge this should be a maker of the moment. Sarah should be a maker of the moment. I'll do that next time. Uh she's
She's
phenomenal.
right under that cusp. She's right under 10,000, so
Is she really? I didn't realize she was so big.
933.
I'm so proud of her. Wait, 9,033?
Oh, sorry, 933. The limit was 10,000, not 1,000, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. She's well under it then. I was thinking 1,000 for some reason. I don't
It's
know.
like, damn, she's doing great. No, she is worth following. She's amazing and she's amazing. She also owns Babs now. So if you know who Babs,
Hmm.
that's who owns Babs. But she originally found Babs, so she
I
deserves.
I've seen some folks doing like an I mean it kind of ties in with your mixing bowl, but like a little beating bowl that you kind of make an omelet in and you pour it out, or like a pancake bowl.
Like a smaller mixing bowl, like
It's like an
a
individualized mixing bowl. It's not like a set
yeah,
necessarily.
it's like a cereal size mixing bowl. Those are perfect.
Hmm. I've
The
seen those.
who was it? It was I don't remember, but somebody that we used to sell for Gravesco. It was called onion marinating bowl, where it was big enough to put a whole onion in that you could marinate.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's a great size.
What about there's some other ones that are like super specialty, like I've seen some people with like flower frogs,
Flower frogs are huge.
which are like the I don't know if it's the clo is if the frog is considered the closed form that looks like a just like a dome and then it's got circles cut in it. I don't know if that's considered a flower frog necessarily, or if the frog is the ones that like sit on top of a vase.
Are you Googling it?
Flower.
Here's how I feel about flower frogs. Like, I think the best way that you can do flower frogs is figure out how wide a mason jar is and make a slab and put holes in it so that you could sell just a slab with holes in it and people can use their own mason, like wide mouth mason jars.
Hmm. Yeah, it looks like well, it looks like they kind of double. I mean, the ones I'm seeing are some of them are saying the frogs are the pointed sticky things that go in the bottom of whatever jar the flowers get stuck into, like an Ikebana vase,
Oh
or the
yeah.
frogs are the slab thing that you're talking about with holes in it that you can just sit on top of a mason jar and people can put the flower stems through it and it kind of like
So,
holds it and
yeah, and you can
spaces
also
them
make
out.
a dome that has holes in it that like a dome that has holes in it that holds the flowers itself, but those are really hard, so I would not suggest doing that. But
I think Jessica Connor makes some of those. They're
yeah,
still, I think those are still they kind of double as like a frog and a vase in one. It just gets a little odd to probably put the water in and pour the water out and stuff. It's kind of,
yeah, you kind of have to like put it all in a like I don't know, in a bowl or something to get the water in. Meh. Um, but yeah, so if you make a slab that's a circle that fits inside of a mason jar lid, what you can do is you can make the slab and then you can actually twist the wide mouth lid on over the slab and it'll twist halfway on and it'll be secure and then you can put flower stems in it. I would suggest doing it like that and I think those would be a fucking hotcake seller because people aren't buying the jar, they can just buy the disc. And what, you
hmm
sell it $5 maybe? I don't
or
know.
they can put it on a cup that they already have. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
can put it
exactly.
on whatever.
That's the beautiful thing about mason jars is that they are supposed to be old, you know?
Yeah, there's an artist at the Clay Lines Gallery that had a whole bin full of the flower frogs that were, I think she put underglaze transfers on them and then had sayings or had different clear glazes on top of the
And you don't even have
underglaze
to
colored
glaze.
transfer.
You don't even have to glaze them, but glazing them is like one extra step, you know?
Yeah. So they sold a few of them when I was at the show that we had in the January timeframe. There was a few folks that got them because they're super reasonable price. People
But
grabbed a few.
the key for those is that you have to have an example. You have to bring flowers, you have to have an example, or else you're not going to sell them.
Right.
Yeah. Um,
So where's that balance of because some of it I feel weird making some of these things if I would not be a consumer of them or if I would it just doesn't fit with like something that I would it's like my vibe because it feels out of place with the other stuff that I have.
right.
Um
Don't do it.
versus it kind of fits. Like if I am somebody that uses um would you say a Palm Santo Mom Santo
Palo Santo.
Palo Santo burner, like if I don't even use that or I'm not kind of like I don't fit that kind of I'm not similar to that customer that's going to use that, like doesn't make sense for me to be making that.
Right.
It almost feels like I'm like culturally appropriating some potter that makes this stuff that I don't actually like fit into and I'm
For sure.
doing it for financial reasons
For
to
sure.
like jump on the trend kind of thing.
Right. I would totally do that because I have no morals as far as the culturally appropriating situation is concerned. As far as selling to people, I have no problems with that. Um, I don't know what to tell you. I would do it because Money's money, especially if I loved making it. Like I love making a Palo Santo burner, right? I
Well, yeah,
think
you made them for somebody else, so you know kind of like the ins and outs
so.
of
I know
making
that they're
them.
fun. They're fun to make. So I feel like that's what it really depends on is if you like to do it, then then people can be like, "Do you use these?" And you'd be like, "No, but I love making them, so I wanted to share them."
Okay.
With it would
I think
use.
that's a good middle ground of saying I don't use it, but just like yarn bowls, like I don't knit. I don't, but I feel like there's some connection with it because my mother-in-law asked for them. Like there's some connection there. It's not like, oh, I was looking at what other people were making and I picked this out of the list and it seemed like something fun.
Right. It's
So
like
I made
there's
it.
I don't think there's any problem with selling something that might be for another culture. Okay, somebody's
Maybe
probably
that wasn't the right item because that is one that you kind of mentioned, but what if it's like a like gar
a garlic keeper. Like
like ring holders might be a good one for me because I'm not a woman. I don't wear rings. Like I don't need a ring holder. It feels a little bit niche for me. Like it seems a little cutesy for the stuff that doesn't fit in with my work.
for sure. I feel like we need to go back really quick to say the Palo Santo thing. You can decide on your own if you want to do something like that or not. It's up to you. You can also put a candle in there. What the fuck ever. It doesn't really matter. Uh, anyway, also you can make incense burners. I don't fucking care. But as far as the ring holder is concerned, yeah, I think that if you like making them, you should sell them. Because if you like making them, then you can sell them. If you don't like making them, what's the point?
Right.
It's like you love making spoon rests, but
Hmm.
you're not the biggest cook, you know? Like, yeah, you
No.
use a spoon rest, but like you're not in the kitchen every single day of the week, you know? Like just like making masterpieces of food.
No.
You're just chilling and you just love to make spoon rests, so that can be enough. You don't have to use what you make. I don't drink hot liquids, but I still make mugs, you know? Like I mean sometimes I do, but it's not my favorite drink. Like you drink tea all the time, right? So
Hmm.
it makes sense that you make mugs and you use mugs, blah blah blah. But I don't. But I can make a good mug.
I
And
think part of it as well is like if you're willing to use the thing, then you can iterate on your own before you either take it to customers to get feedback on, or like you can do some sort of test, like trial run
yeah, but
if
you can also
you
give it
use
to
it in
someone.
your world. What's that?
You can also give it to somebody. Like if I know, if you make a ring holder and you're like, I'm never gonna use this, give it to your wife. Give it to somebody that wears a ton of rings and tell them like, hey, I'm doing a test. I'd like to know in 2 months if you like this. You know? God forbid you plan ahead. What's
Yeah,
something? Oh, go on.
I don't see anything on here that's well the one other thing like I'm also thinking how do you dip your toe in? Like how we just listed off like 40 things. I would recommend somebody pick out maybe two or three,
Yeah.
maybe make a batch of 20 of them,
Yeah. I feel
see
like
how
10,
it goes.
so it doesn't look like you have too many, but not too little.
Yeah. I was saying 20 so you can have like I have a bunch of glaze combos, so I would need to make, 20 white clay, 20 in speckled clay, have some variety so I can glaze a handful in the most popular colors, see
Right.
how they do.
And
It's-
and the thing about that too is that if you make 20 of one thing, like if you only use one clay, then you only have 20 to get rid of. Like if they don't end up selling, you can just be like, oh, you can do a mystery box. You can be like, hey, I have a sale on these specific items because they didn't sell, blah, blah, blah. It's no loss. I mean, you still learned how to make something new and tried something out.
Mhm.
What's something that you would never make for summer but would make for fall? And I feel like pumpkins have to be in this.
Pumpkins. I mean, some people make Christmas trees that are, you either just decorative on tables or you put the light in them.
I
Some
like
people
a
some
luminary,
people make luminaries. I don't
yeah. Or not even a luminary, but like a candle holder, like a what are the little tea candle holder, something like that?
Hmm. I haven't seen people do that. I mean, I saw John Potter makes the little ones that like warm up the mug, but do people
Yeah,
make them with the tea candles that you can like do a little oil to not an oil thing, but like a wax melt? Do people do that?
those they're pretty easy. Well, I mean, like you can just make like a cylinder, cut a hole in it, and then put a bowl on top, which I like. And then you can sell like four different bowls so people could have different flavors and stuff. Um, yeah, that's good. I feel like, you've got your candles, your soups, like soup bowls.
Oh
You've got
yeah, candles would probably be a seasonal thing. I would probably not do during the summer.
but Christmas time, like anything ghost related, anything pumpkin related, anything tree related are all Christmassy stuff. But also, I feel like that's so sketchy. Like, what if you don't sell all the? It's like not all of us are Isaac Shoe.
That's
You know,
why a lot of these forms I don't like if they're seasonal, I don't want to make them because they're gonna hang around for the next year and they're just gonna be staring at me. Like garden steaks. Well, I mean garden steaks, you gotta make a certain quantity of them. I don't think making 20 of them is enough.
here's the thing. Here's the thing though with garden steaks is that I feel like there is a way to make garden steaks so that you could make them on demand and then uh oh hi. You can make them on demand and then like have instructions. So especially ink, um like the black ink that you find at like Michael's and shit, that can be baked onto ceramics. And if you like stamped them on demand, that's a lot more economical. You can make 30 of them and make them on demand for people, and then send instructions home for them to bake them in their oven, and like easy peasy, right? Like, I don't know. That's what I started doing like later on in my. Obviously, you have your basic ones like tomatoes, tomatoes, corn, peas, beans, squash, like the stupid stuff.
Like
But then,
mint and herbs and basil
yeah,
and stuff like that.
you have the weird shit, like blueberries and fucking okra and like shit like that that not everybody is making, but some people are making like sweet potatoes, whatever. But then you also can have funny ones, like
Don't
uh
kill me or
about time, uh like
my plants are wet.
gone to pot, stupid shit like that that everybody can relate to that you can sell. So that's a good way too, is doing the funny ones that everybody can relate to, and then you don't have any like food necessarily. But garden steaks are so cheap to make and they're so easy. If you just make them simple, nobody fucking cares what they look like.
How long do they actually have to be?
I think they need to be 10 inches long.
Really?
Yeah. But I'm
It
different.
depends on the pot, right? It depends on what it is. Like if it's a thyme plant on your windowsill, do you need like it
Small
probably
ones.
5 inches or something?
Yeah, but it depends on how big the word is. So, like, I like to make them really tall so that you can stick them 6 inches into the ground so you can actually put them in your garden. But some
Mm,
people, like, you can't have something that's 6 inches tall and 4 inches of it is the word, and then 2 inches of it goes into the ground. That's
that's
not.
true. It depends on if you're talking exterior items, but I don't know. I feel like it depends on the I feel like most people would probably be doing like windowsill
It
type
depends.
of herbs.
I mean, I've got a lot of.
I mean, I think there's a market for both.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of people like need stuff for their actual garden.
I'm just
Be
thinking the risk, like how much loss did you have in the 10-inch ones when you were making them?
None.
None? I thought you made a whole thing pile and they warped to shit.
Okay, but that's like a super specific situation.
Okay. So
Or
lay them flat or pile them like three up,
yeah, 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 yeah.
three high.
Yeah, you don't pile them super high, but you can fire them sideways.
Do they need glaze or no?
No, They don't need glaze. And some people will glaze them. That's fine. I don't think they need glaze. Just put a little iron wash on there and you're good to go.
Okay.
But but that's like a very specific niche too, you know? Like that is perfect for a farmer's market. It's not necessarily perfect for a summer show.
Yeah, you're not gonna take that to a fine like a juried art show and sell them
Right.
like hot cakes. I mean, you depending on where it's at, you might.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that farmers market call out there. So some because some of these items like they would be best for a farmers market because the price point, the type of customer that's there, they're probably gonna appreciate something like a berry bowl. Because during most of my shows during the summer, I don't sell a ton of berry bowls, but if I'm at a farmers market, I might sell a couple.
Right. And like mixing bowls because they're at home, like they're thinking about food, they're thinking about cooking, you know, not necessarily at a summer show where they're thinking about art, but a farmer's market, they're thinking about food and they're thinking about home.
Where's that balance? Because I've made 6 mixing bowl sets. I never sold a single one, so I stopped making them because I was like, eh. But you say they sell like hotcakes. Like I don't, is it the I just didn't have enough I didn't have enough of them made
I think it
because
was,
there's so much work to take to and from a show that there's a balance of how many eyes did I get them in front of before, or is it a price thing or what?
I think that your mixing bowls weren't like round enough.
But if they didn't even look at them, like if they didn't even pick them up or look at them at all, that you're saying that they're just not round enough?
Yeah, I think that they're not like the typical shape of a mixing bowl, so people didn't like really register it.
Okay.
Oh, Bobby.
How do you know that from just talking to you just ask customers if they even look at it, ask them for feedback?
Well, I don't know because I guess that the only reason I say that is because I've sold mixing bowls and you've sold mixing bowls and mine sell.
How much did you sell them for?
75.
For the whole set?
No, 150 for the whole set. If I
Okay,
do,
if you do three. Were you splitting them up? Because I never split them up. I just kept them as a set.
I'll split them up. Yeah,
Well,
I don't mind.
nobody really asked. I mean, if people were willing to ask, I had a price in mind, but I think my set was my like quality set that wasn't like had an S crack or whatever. I think they were like 200 for the set. But I mean, I've dropped them down. I think I sold a set over the Christmas for like 125 because I just want to get it out of my life,
Here's the thing. You don't cook, you don't bake, except for pretzels,
which I haven't made in a long time.
right? Since we had COVID together. Well, I had COVID and you made pretzels. Anyway, um, I
This
don't,
feels similar to what I was talking about. I'm not a
what?
consumer of the thing, and I don't use the thing enough to know what's quality and what I need to make.
Right, like your mixing bowl, like so a mixing bowl has to have a nice like round bottom so that you can put the whisk in every single place in the bowl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so yours had it was a V almost.
No, it wasn't a V. I mean, it had a flat spot, and then it went up, so it was more of like a U, kind of a
Okay.
U shape than
So it may
a
not have been
wide U.
right. It may not have been like a traditional bowl that people considered a mixing bowl, you know? So, I mean, I don't know why people didn't fucking buy your mixing bowls. I liked them. But
But that's something that's going to deter. Like, I'm never going to probably make them again because to me, it was like it's not worth it. Like,
right, but did you do anything with like somebody that actually cooks? Like, did you give it to somebody and be like, "Can you try this?"
no.
See, that's I think what I would have done.
Well, I think the thing is, I was making them because you said they sold like hotcakes, and I got that excitement, and then I made them, and then it felt like it fell flat. And I don't know if it's like, is it worth persisting and keep going and making another? Because it's not an easy set to make.
No, but also you do t completely different shows than I did too.
Hmm.
Like that should be said too. Like I like at that time I was doing fucking farmers markets, local shows, things that people weren't looking for art. They were
Hmm.
looking for something that they could use. So I think
Yeah.
that has something to do with it too, you know?
And let's say you did 12 farmers markets that year, you're more likely to sell a mixing bowl set to farmers market customers than me
Oh yeah.
selling a $200 set to somebody that's never seen my work before and
Exactly.
stumbles upon it? Probably because they don't want to carry it around, a
Hmm.
$200 heavy mixing bowl set.
Yeah, and I got a couple like custom orders for those mixing bowls too. They were like, "Hey, I live locally, but I'd like it in this color, that color, whatever." You know?
What about serving bowls? Did you sell a lot of serving bowls? Because I kind of stopped making serving bowls because I was tired of transporting them because they didn't sell that often. And I don't
I
know
don't.
if it's because they weren't big enough or
Yeah, I don't feel like I did. And also, I think that at this moment in time, I've decided that a bowl is not valuable unless it has a spout. Like a bowl of a certain size is not valuable unless it has a spout for me.
it's funny
For-
because the cereal bowl, perfectly same size cereal bowl, 28 bucks for a cereal bowl. And then I put a handle on it, it's 42 and I sell 12 to 1 handled
Yeah,
bowl over a cereal bowl. Like what the fuck?
wild.
Nobody likes bowl. Nobody buys bowls. It's not value bowls, but nobody buys bowls. It's too standard, I guess. I don't know.
Not valuables. It's not valuables.
Nobody value bowls.
Nobody valuables.
I
Um,
don't get it, but
third glass of wine. Um, little bit tipsy. We should talk about Advancer.
we should. I was thinking about that too. I was trying to find a way to weave it in there, but you're just like, fuck it, advancer.
Becca's drunk. Let's fucking talk
I was
about it.
trying to be like tipsy, like you know what's not tipsy? My shelves because they're not warping.
Right. Because advance your life, advance your shelves, advancer.com. No, it's killingshelf.com. Never mind. Um,
You know what's been really popular is the video I did recently with the cocktail glasses
yeah.
and they're all underglazed on the bottom and people kept asking like how do they not stick? How do they not stick? And that's where I tell them about the shelves are good as well, but like having the alumina on there as well. Make sure it doesn't stick, the underglaze doesn't stick, the glazes are good. If they get on there, you can chip them right off. No
I think
problem.
that's the creme de la creme secret to the advancer shelf is the alumina. Like, yeah, or if you want to do like a kiln wash or something like that, but like I've seen people with advancers that they do not take care of them and it's just a lot. It's a lot. But if you just do your due diligence, put alumina on them, spread it around, boom. Also, I really loved at Inseca this year that they had like the little tester that you could like scrape off
Pop
the.
off the little glaze drips.
That was a good touch.
I like that they sold it at a steep discount. If I was driving, I would have bought it. But
Oh, they did?
yeah, I think it was like 150 bucks for the shelf.
How much are they normally?
It was a full shelf. I think it was like a 270 or $280 shelf or $300 shelf.
Damn, and you know what? They have shelves for the plug and fire,
Hmm.
uh, that are like have rounded edges and shit. And I feel like I had a good part in that situation, but um they like sold out at Inseca. They're so popular.
Hmm.
And should be. And they're a little bit thinner than the regular shells, but thicker than like the ultra thins. And the ultra thins are basically magic. Like picking one of those up with your just one hand is mind-boggling.
Yeah, super light. Yeah, the small ones for the plug and fire, they're actually I mean, when you think about the size of the other ones and the cost of the other ones, full shelves and stuff, the small advancers 79 bucks. Like if you're firing a bunch of earrings or something on there,
Well, yeah, and especially for most people that have the plug and fire, if they're putting two shelves in, that's 150 bucks. Like whatever. You know? I mean, not whatever, but whatever. But if you're buying nine, obviously like me, I might have the most tiny advancer small shelves. I
yeah,
might.
you got quite a bit of mass in there with all your shelves
Yeah.
and little
I think
earrings and
I
stuff.
have nine. And I gave like two to you and another two away.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, they're great. They're fucking great.
And they have standard. posts and shelves on their site too.
And those posts are comparable, actually better priced than most posts at like stores and websites. Like we did a price comparison, didn't we, like a couple months
Hmm.
ago to I think the ceramic shop or Clay King, and they were cheaper.
Hmm.
So
And they got the standard like core light shelves as well.
yeah, I mean like definitely just go look at the website and look at see like it's a good thing to like keep in the back of your mind. I feel like the advancer shelves to keep in the back of your mind just to be like, yeah, when the tax when the tax break comes and when the refund comes, like maybe that's what I should spend my refund on,
You're
you know?
getting a refund?
No, I never get a refund. I haven't gotten a refund ever.
The
Quite
thing
li
is, it's still your money. It's not like free money.
I know.
It's because you overpaid.
A lot of people will spend their refund on something that they really wanted, you know? That's
Right.
you can
They see
dream.
it as like a little bonus.
Yeah.
All right, so where do you go?
Advance your kilns. Advance your life. Kilnshelf.com.
There we go. Go check them out. I have a question back to our topic.
Okay.
I've seen some folks out there making, and this is a little bit more specialty, but it kind of fits with that vibe of what a lot of what I'm seeing out there. There's the tumblers with like the little straw opening where you can put the little metal straw in there. And I've seen some that have like the lidded tumblers that you can fit like an actual lid with
Mm,
either the silicone lid that you can drink
yeah.
like a travel tumbler, or there's the ones with like the straw lid and it's like a bamboo top or whatever. So like those are out there. I don't see myself making them just because of the risk of having like seconds, quote unquote, that don't fit. But
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like they're popular.
I feel like they are. I mean, anything with a straw is popular, but I do think that if you're going to make something that includes a straw, you have to quite literally sell the straw. You can't just sell the cup without the straw.
Yeah, people understand it if it's got the straw in there. So you
Yeah.
can, but you can get those straws. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the metal ones or glass, maybe glass ones would be nice too. If you can get
Mm.
some glass ones. We get some glass straws for our bar and stuff at the house, and a good if you're looking for a glass straw company, Surfside Sips, that's pretty good. You can get some different length ones. You can get I get some short ones for our cocktail glasses, and whenever people buy cocktail glasses online, I'll put a straw in there with it.
I think the biggest thing is to make something that people have to ask questions about.
I feel like there's a line of like how many questions do you want like having the straw in there, is it obvious enough? Some of them have, and I've seen some people make them with like handles and they fit in the cup holder. I think maybe John the Potter's made some, or I think Melanie from Swell has made some
Yeah.
that are like travel related. They go in the I think the travel one's good. Like I feel like I could be in the market for a good travel tumbler, travel cup. Have you
Feel
seen
like
Dalt Potteries? The one that they have, the carved ones?
yeah. Every time I go to your house and then we go to a show, you're always like taking this shitty ass travel cup to like shows, and it'd be cool if you had one that was ceramic.
Hmm. Usually I think I think it's the one that I take from when we got afternoon tea in London. I take that travel cup or my Baker Hunt one. It just tastes like it tastes different though in like a metal cup. I did notice when I put tea in like a metal aluminum travel cup, it doesn't taste the same as putting it in like a ceramic or something else.
Yeah.
So I feel like I wouldn't be lying if I told a customer, yeah, it tastes different in a handmade cup versus a cheap metal aluminum one. The other item I forgot to mention earlier that I'm kind of like toying with making and selling are soap dispensers.
Oh yeah.
I see some folks that have them. I've had questions from customers for a long time of people asking, "Do you make soap dispensers? Do you have any with the pumps?" because I have the oil bottles, but they're more for dish soap if you were to use it for soap. But I got that threaded tool from Pottery Supply House or Euclid, and I actually just got my first ones out of the kiln this week, and they worked. So I just need to get some more tops that
That's
that will
exciting.
work. So I think it's a little like slow and steady. I don't know. I I mean, I think they'll do good. I'm trying to think about the price on them because I've only got three of the little threading tools, so I can only make very few at a time unless I buy another, you know, 7 or 10 of them. Um, but I think they'll be good. I've seen some folks make them where it's just a certain diameter and you can just use a cork one with it. So it's a little more forgiving. You don't need that special like screw-on tool that makes it threaded. But I started using
Right.
that. I just got my first two out. They turned out great. I've got another 5 or 8, I think, that I need to glaze. But I just left it unglazed, glazed the inside, glazed the rest of the outside, and it screwed on good. So mine works perfectly for a like a 2 liter bottle or like a 20-ounce bottle cap. Like that's kind of the thread that works for it. So I had success there. So I'm very happy about the way that turned out. But I think those will be good.
Nice.
How we kind of said I kind of mentioned earlier like pick a couple and just make some like 20 items. How long do you give it? And like what do you decide? Is it putting them focal at a show? Like are you because I feel like somebody that's looking to say, I don't know what I'm making. I just want to throw everything at the wall and make 10 of these different forms because I don't know what I like. And then you come up with like a mishmash of everything on your table.
I feel like Hannah's like that. Three Lick Pottery, who wrote the review earlier. She's like, yeah, I like that style, so I'm just gonna make that. And she seems to do really good.
I think she makes enough quantity that it's like a staple in the booth. So it's like, and she's got a lot of glaze combos, so she kind of needs to have a certain quantity of them so that it can fit all the different people that are coming. But she did good at the coffee festival with all that. I think she had the travel tumbler or the what do you call them? The straw cups? Is that what they are? Straw tumbler? She had a lot of those. She had a lot of what are, there's some I think she had some like mugs that had some different additive to it. So like it either had like a state on it or it had like a saying on it or something. So some of those like themed mugs that are seasonal. That's another thing we didn't really mention. Like you could do some design work that makes it kind of seasonal on a form you already make, whether it's like
Yeah.
using an underglaze transfer or you're doing some like Hannah's been doing some like flowery kind of designs. That could be a seasonal thing that you're kind of trying out. Have you seen those that have the little they have the slab there it's another travel tumbler thing with a slab on the top and it's got the cutout for the mouth.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I would make those, but I don't know. It
I don't
seems
understand the point of that.
it it seems like it's just like kind of a all clay travel tumbler. Like I mean it could still spill, I guess, but it's just like a controlled I don't know. Some of
I
that I
just feel
just see it and I'm like, that's not worth the risk. It's not worth the time to add that other little slab there and like sell it.
it's just like learn how not to spill.
I don't know, but like they probably wouldn't have bought it if it didn't have that little mouth thing. They're like, "Oh, it's perfect. I can sip it while I'm traveling and it won't spill on my shirt."
You're right.
So, but like how much effort is in there to add that slab and how much more can you charge for that versus just a tumbler? I would imagine a tumbler you could probably charge less than $20 for a tumbler. But if you put
Yeah.
that little slab on there, you could probably charge 30 to 35 for it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Add a little koozie around it and you're at
Mm.
45,
A little
50.
I've seen some travel tumblers with a little silicone. They
Mm-hmm.
besides the silicone lid, they got the silicone sleeve to grip it, so it's
Or
not so
like
hot.
Rebecca used to sell those tumblers that had the silicone sleeves on the outside, or maybe not the silicone sleeves, but definitely a silicone top that fit on top.
Hmm. I don't know. I'm like, would I rather make something that's in two parts of clay, like a jar, like a garlic pot, or would I rather make a tumbler that needs a silicone lid that fits nicely?
I'd rather make a garlic jar because I like garlic. Fucking hate coffee. It's fucking bullshit.
And I'm thinking like the risk of somebody drinking it and it not fitting. Like, what's the like? Is it gonna spill all over them? Like, are you gonna risk like people coming back to you and be like, this didn't fit right, so you gotta like swap it out? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I made a few Bud vases back in the day, but like the Bud vases never sold amazing for me. That kind of felt like a little.
Flowers. You have to have flowers.
I had some live flowers at one of these shows, but then it's like, is it worth having the going and getting the flowers and cutting them, and then you end up going back home with vases and shit? But I don't know. I guess it depends on how bad you want to sell it. Like if you were doing it around uh Mother's Day, sell them at such a good price that people are like taking them. So it's like you're not losing or wasting them, you know?
Yeah. You know what was one of my favorite like weird things that I saw back in the day was Leanne from Ellen Pottery, Elon Pottery. Uh she used to make these little like cups that were on just fishing line. They were like half cups and they would put air plants in them and so they looked like octopuses
Yeah.
and they were so fucking cute.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just
I think they glued them in there.
Yeah, they did.
And the great thing is they because the air plants grow from the center, so it's fine that you glue the base of it into it.
Yeah, and they just like dunked them in water to
That's
water them.
awesome.
Oh, they were so cute. So cute. I feel like plants are such a big thing right now because of people's mental health. And just like if you can ride on that,
That's what it was during COVID. I mean, people were getting those air. I sold those airplanes for a couple of years, and they were high. They were selling like hotcakes during COVID, 2021, 20. I even sold them in 2020, 2020 all the way to 2022, and then I stopped selling them just because it was hard to keep them alive because I would have to have so many of them to keep up for shows and stuff. And I ended up killing a bunch, but uh, yeah.
dude, I
Go ahead.
oh, it's not really that important, but I need some fucking donkey tails because all of my plants have died because they froze. And now that we're in summer, I need donkey tails.
Mm,
That's my plant of choice because I know how to keep them alive.
yeah. Those are kind of those little somewhat subtle specialty.
Yeah,
Donkey
what's
tails.
fun is that everybody's like, I can never keep them alive. And I'm like, I can. I don't know why I can, but I can. And that's my plant of choice.
Well, we got some succulents if you want to get a succulent or two, but
Fucking,
we have some donkey tails. You could probably take a cutting of the donkey tail.
I killed all the succulents that you gave me, but they all froze. Like, it's not my
Yeah,
fault
you can't really do
necessarily.
anything about that.
Yeah.
That's just gonna happen. Well, so like the other thing that I think about with balancing this is like how can I fit making the stuff that I'm confident in selling versus spending time to make the things that like aren't as guaranteed and it's more unknown. And like how do I know how much time I should be prioritizing with making some of these things? Because you could go wildly down the rabbit hole of just making for like 2 weeks straight of all these different things. Or
So
do you
here's what, and I know that you probably don't necessarily agree with this because you're too number focused, But I think that sometimes we forget that we do pottery because we love it. And if you enjoy doing it, do it as much as you want. Like if you enjoy making garlic pots, make 40 of them, you know? And you'll sell them eventually. It like even if they don't sell like hotcakes, you'll sell them eventually, you know? But like take the time to figure out how you want to make the item and just enjoy it. I think that that's the part of kind of like item research, like RD, research and development that's fun is just enjoying actually making the item. And I think that, like, yeah, enjoy just making the item the way that you want to make it, and then make as many as you want. And if they sell, they sell. If they don't, they don't, you know?
You definitely have to enjoy making it because a lot of these things I'm like, I'm never gonna make that because I know that the work involved in making it is not gonna be enjoyable. So I'm like, no.
For sure.
But like screwing the lid top threader thing on making soap dispensers, like I already make oil bottles and I like making them. So like the gap for that is not that bad.
It's
But like,
fun.
a salt cellar, okay, I'm gonna have to make a clothes form. I'm gonna have to cut it. When do I cut it? How do I like shape it? How do I make?
That's not your, like, that's not you, right? So
Yeah,
if you
you got
enjoy
to give
making,
it a certain amount of personality. You can't just like cut right to it. Just like if I made the yarn bowls and just cut out the like if I was making them for the first time and I didn't like take the time to like clean up the lines and make it functional, like it wouldn't be fun and you'd have to figure out how to make it actually work like it should.
yeah,
And I don't know. But I might try the garlic pot. I kind of like that idea.
the garlic pots are cute. I mean, like, you have to make a lid, but lids, I personally love the idea of lids. I like the challenge that lids give you, you know? And if you watch one of Sarah's videos, she shows you how to trim a lid like nobody else. She trims right over the seam and it looks so fucking flawless.
They look really nice. I don't know that I would. I don't know. I mean, they look really nice. I would like to make one that's more squared off, I think.
Yeah,
So
for
it'd be
sure.
easier to make maybe. But that
It'd
would
be
be
cool.
part of the experimenting to figure out.
Be cool if you make ones and then poked holes in certain spots. You have to have airflow for garlic, so you have to have the holes on the side.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm just watching a video of Sarah doing this. Yeah, that looks really good. Trimming it, gift and
Sarah is
grip is
a
key.
fucking professional.
Yeah, I mean, she was a production potter and still is, like,
Yeah,
right? So, yeah, she got that shit down.
I love her.
All right.
I'm fading fast. I feel like we should probably end soon.
You've been fading for a few minutes.
A few minutes. I feel like I've kept in. I've been okay.
Yeah, you've been good. I can tell the last few minutes.
Well, I'm making mac and cheese right now because I know that
I
if I,
know it's pushing 9 o'clock. Like you probably need to get to sleep. So
yeah,
I need to eat something too.
yeah.
All right, folks. Thanks for listening. Good luck at those shows this summer, the spring, fall, winter, everywhere.
We're just gonna end like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Fan fucking tastic. Um, God damn it. I had something to say, but I can't remember what it was. Anyway, stay classy, keep your cats alive, and don't do drugs.
All right.
Unless-
Thanks everybody for listening.
Or if they're not, make sure it's just weed. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to another episode of Wheel Talk. This podcast is made possible through the contributions of all of our listeners who always ask us great questions, leave us reviews, and contact with us through social media. Thanks to all the fellow makers as well who take time to be interviewed and share about their lives and businesses.
And thank you to Ashley from Boldover Ceramics and Lindy from Lindy Garner Ceramics for their assistance on the Whale Talk Podcast Instagram. You are invaluable. Thank you to everybody.